They say life and school are alike, except that in school you are taught a lesson before you are given a test. But in life, you are given a test from which you learn a lesson. Hello and welcome to Green 360, the world of agriculture here on iBrandTV. Today, we are going to talk about the lessons the world has learned, or rather, should learn from Covid-19 as it regards agriculture, with Nigeria as case study. I'm Michael Nath, and going forward, let's take a break here and bring you quotes for today. George Santayana there, a Spanish, was a philosopher, essayist, poet, and novelist, popularly known for aphorisms. Food drives the world, and it was made manifest at the peak of COVID-19 pandemic when the world shut down and everyone around the globe had to permanently stay home, wake up, eat, and sleep day in, day out, repeatedly for months. Now, for better illustration, let's take this field report.
As the world adjusted to the fact of the novel coronavirus disease from December 2019 through a better part of 2020, stay indoor, avoid gatherings, and limit physical interpersonal contact became the new world order. Occasioned by the new COVID-19 pandemic, man woke up to new realities in terms of what really are his needs and basic necessities to life, compared to his hitherto superfluous wants and desires. With no clear idea of how long the lockdown was going to take, people the world over rushed to stock up as much food as they could afford for the upkeep and well-being of their households. Not clothes, jewelries, cars, or what have you, but food. Globally, even as the money-spinning sectors such as aviation, banking, hospitality, sports and entertainment, among others, could not but shut down, the food sector could not afford to close shop. The world over, even as there as man holds religion, iconic places of worship including the Vatican and holy sites in Jerusalem and Mecca went under lock and key, whereas food stores and groceries could not but remain open. At the height of the global lockdown, the rich nations, without being guilty of self-centeredness, had to think about their food security first before they could think of any assistance to the poor nations, as a natural law of self-preservation first.
Oh boy, winning you was so easy.
I just couldn't stand those your powerful shots. That's what happened.
Really? Let's go to my place for dinner.
This fufu is so nice.
It's through unripe plantain flour.
True unripe plantain flour is delicious.
Yes, true unripe plantain flour is what I serve my husband for swallows. It's easy to prepare, fortified with vitamin A, low in sugar and cholesterol, rich in fiber that helps the heart, builds and strengthens the bone, and his energy level is boosted.
Through unripe plantain flour, no additives, 100% natural, a product of Pali Agro Products Nigeria. Through unripe plantain flour, available in all leading stores nationwide.
You go enter market, just make you go buy fresh palm fruits. When you reach house, you go wash, you go pound, your body go dey pain you, even your fingernails go dey pain you. But make una no worry, make una relax. I get good news for una. Una don hear of Banga fresh palm fruit extract. All you need to do now make you go for the open am. Take the amount wey you want, put am for your pot. Which soup you wan make? Shey na egusi, shey na ogbono, shey na vegetable, shey na banga. My sister no waste time again. My brother no waste time again. Just go buy Banga fresh palm fruit extract. They go know say you sabi cook and you be better cook.
Banga, come make your food yummy yum.
Distributors needed nationwide. Phone number 081 63974447, 08035644436, 07066638213. Banga Fresh Palm Fruit Extract.
You're welcome back. Now we discuss the lessons the world must have learned from COVID-19 concerning agriculture with a public affairs analyst here in the studio with me, and that's the person of Laide Akango. Laide, you're welcome to Green 360.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure being here.
Yes, COVID-19, as everyone knows, dealt a deadly blow to nations of the world and individuals as well. Now, what lessons do you think Nigeria should have learned from COVID-19?
Well, thank you. Well, COVID-19, if you look at it from very many perspectives, in a way, it was a blessing in disguise, because at a point, it appeared that the world had to take a break, and there was no way the whole world would have taken the break. When the world took a break, everything shut down. And we now realized what are the things that are actually basically necessary for our livelihood. Nobody rushed to buy gold, jewelry, shoes, clothes, cars, whatever. Everybody focused on food. So, which tells you that of all the professionals who should respect, farmer is top on the list. Before COVID, or let's say COVID never came, a lot of us would have, if they put a farmer on stage and they put a music artist or a film star or a Ronaldo, a Messi, everybody would just, and you say now, rate these people in order of their importance. Virtually everybody will rate the farmer last.
Yes, that's before COVID.
Before COVID.
Yeah.
But when we face the reality of it, so we, as a whole, everybody in the world knew that we have to reprioritize our living, number one. Number two, we realized that, okay, certain things we have attached importance to may not be that important, as a matter of fact. And some people we have not actually respected actually deserve our respect. And one of them is the farmer. Because not many people think about how food comes to the table. You just think that once you have your money in your pocket, you can just go out there and buy your food. But then if there was nobody, kind of, say, behind the scene, working on the farm, for instance, if there was nobody working on the farm, be it crop, be it livestock, to produce this food, with all your money in your pocket, what will you get? Nothing. So COVID let us realize that, food drives the world, just like you said. And who is feeding the world? The farmer. So COVID let us realize the importance of the farmer. So that's why I said one can look at COVID from many perspectives, and it's like, in a way, it's a blessing in disguise, because the world have to take a break to now reassess everything and now know, okay, what is important and what is maybe what do we just desire as compared to what is important and what we need.
Okay. Now, you've talked about this in a global perspective. Let's narrow it down now to Nigeria. Would you think Nigeria has learned any lessons, from this COVID era?
It will be very unfortunate if Nigeria does not learn a lesson. So I think Nigeria, as a government, as a nation, we should have learned our lessons. Because when we shut down, at a point, it became necessary for government, like other governments in the world, but now Nigerian government, it became too necessary at a point for the Nigerian government to start looking at how to get food to people in their homes, And the food, the best they could do was maybe get all these noodles, fast food, pasta, which is not too good for human consumption on the long run. Because look at Lagos State, for instance. When all markets were closed, they allowed food market to open. Mile 12 opened and some other, so people can get their tomatoes, people can get their vegetables, people can get their onions and things like that. So now, I think the lesson Nigeria should have learned is that we have to put agriculture on the front burner. It's not as if government is not looking at agriculture, but we now have to look at it more pointedly. You know, there should be a way of encouraging everybody, and even people on their own should be encouraged, you know, automatically on their own. Because if COVID still existed, if the lockdown still existed by now, you can imagine what would have happened. Because by now, we might have probably finished whatever we have in the marketplaces to buy. So, as every individual, I think it's time now everybody starts kind of a backyard garden farm. So that's one lesson I believe we have learned as a nation.
Now, I was happy when you mentioned agriculture. Now, everybody knows the role agriculture plays in the life of a man and the development and growth of a nation. During this COVID pandemic period, how did farmers fare? You know, we're now talking about food production, food security in Nigeria. Would you say Nigeria was able to take care of the food security during this period?
Well, there are many issues involved, you know, because at that time when everybody was locked down, for some time, even the farmers could not go to his farm. And our security agencies put on the road, you know, it's like they're particular kind of people. It's like everybody in Nigeria knows the type they are. If you go out on the road and they get hold of you, you tell them you are a farmer, they will tell you there's lockdown. So for a period of time, even some of the things that are perishable perished on the farm. And not until people started raising their voices that allow farmers to go to the farm. Because if you say people should stay indoors, they will have to eat. And if they have to eat, farmers have to produce the food. And, you know, even before COVID, some crops which fell into that planting season have been planted. And on their own, the plant will just grow. So also would wheat grow. So farms would need weeding, farms need clearing and things like that. So farmers needed to be on the farm. So Nigerian farmers fared badly, but then at a point government realized the importance. So farmers were allowed to move out. But at that time, because you know you don't have many people, you know, in town, so there was security challenge on the part of the farmer, because you could be living in maybe Ikeja, and your farm is somewhere around Mowe. So having to go all the way to Mowe, and you are maybe you go on a bike or even your vehicle, you go to and fro. You perhaps meet just one person on the road, you're on the farm. You know that if there's any emergency, who do you call? You know, where will help come from, even if you needed help immediately? So that was another challenge that Nigerian farmer had that time, insecurity, which is a problem. So that was part of the things that Nigerian farmers faced during the COVID-19 pandemic. But then, because everybody knew that we just had to eat, so farmers, you know, just took the chance, went onto the farms when they said, okay, you farmers can go to the farm. Because if you say food stores, Mile 12, for instance, can open, food is not grown in Mile 12. Tomato does not grow in Mile 12. Vegetable is not grown in Mile 12. So vegetable is grown on farms. And farmers have to go to the farm to grow and bring to Mile 12 market, another market where food items are sold. So that was how the farmer fared during the pandemic.
Okay, in case of another crisis, you know, similar to COVID pandemic, you know, the COVID-19 issue, what steps do you think Nigeria is going to take, you know, to make sure that the ugly situation they experienced in the present pandemic doesn't repeat itself?
I think what Nigeria as a country should do now, COVID or no COVID, is that we should, as a nation, try to research into how we can preserve our crops more. When we have surplus, let's say we have maize surplus, yam surplus, how can we preserve them more? Or rather, let us go beyond what our ancestors handed over to us. It's like our ancestors handed over to us how to prepare yam into pounded yam, which Yorubas call liyon, or rather make it, fry it, or boil it, or whatever. So let us look at other ways we can do the yam, so that if we have eaten it as boiled, we have eaten it pounded, what other ways can we do it, so that this yam can be preserved, number one. Number two, even when it's dry and preserved and it's dry, what kind of food can we make from it? Apart from what our ancestors have handed over to us. I've always told people that in terms of food, all the soups that we eat, you hardly have any new thing coming from our own period. It is what our great-grandfathers have
handed down to us
that we eat. But then, I think that there's still a lot more we can make from corn, yam, cassava, if you actually think and research into it.
That's talking about the value chain.
Value chain, yes.
Okay.
And then food processing. As a country, it's like we should work more on food processing so that we have what kind of a storage, or rather, we have our food processed so that when there's a crisis, at least, while facing that crisis, there'll be something for us to eat as a nation. Not just noodles, not just pasta, not just all such kind of food.
Now, apart from the pandemic, what other crises should Nigeria prepare against? And in what way, with special attention, this matter given to agriculture?
I think we should always prepare against natural disasters. Thank God we don't have much of it in Nigeria. Of recent, like 2-3 months back, in East Africa, particularly Uganda, Tanzania, and that axis, they had a battle with locusts. And when locusts descend on farms, let that farm be as big as the city of Lagos. Within weeks, they could destroy everything because they will eat up the leaves. So we should prepare against natural disaster, which is not only due to pest or insect or whatever. Some of the time you can have maybe shortfall in rain shortfall, or maybe too much sun, maybe like when they have heat waves in India, that even people, while going on long distances, drop dead, and it affects the farmland too. Flood, like I said, thank God we don't have all these things in Nigeria, but, it's like mother dog cannot carry you too far in some cases. So we should be prepared, because when such emergencies happen, let's say natural disaster happens, it's the same thing as stay at home, because when there's a natural disaster, a lot of things would, be topsy-turvy, and so how do we face it? So these are part of the lessons we should have learned from COVID, because anything, I don't pray for war in this country, but anything could look like, because COVID situation was like a war situation. You can't go out, you cannot go out, you cannot go anywhere. So if there's a natural disaster as well, maybe even particularly if it affects agric itself, like I've said, of Uganda and East Africa, locusts, like anything. So we should prepare against natural disaster, so that if we have enough storage, if we go do more food processing, so that when you have surplus of corn, surplus of yam, surplus of mango, and other food crops, let us know what we can do. All the research institutes should go into that, so that if you can't eat them raw as they are, maybe in another 6 months, another 1 year, we should be able to eat them in some form, which is not too synthetic, still in the organic state,
yes.
Maybe with little preservative, but then we should still be able to eat them. So as a country, we should prepare against emergencies such as natural disaster, which could, like, maybe, okay, it could even take us a whole year, or let's say 2 years. And another thing is insecurity. Nigeria as a country has to, in view of agriculture, because we have, what state is that, where about 13 farmers were slaughtered on their rice farm. So who will want to go? You don't farm in the city, you farm in the bush. So who want to be on the farm while it doesn't feel secure? And it has happened everywhere. It's like there are people, even one knows personally, that have been kidnapped and killed on their farm. So we should, fight insecurity. So that's one thing I want to say, that because insecurity in Nigeria is not an emergency. So, and it should be, tackled as such.
And on that very, very advisory note, we have to call it a day today. I want to thank you very, very much for your thoughts on the show.
Thank you.
And for you out there, it is at this point we will round off that discussion, which was made possible between me and our special guests on the show today, public affairs analysts Laide Akano. We hope to come your way again next week with another very interesting edition of Green 360. I'm Michael Nass.